See, that's the configuration I'm looking for right there. But
There's two. You have three left.
I doubt it.
I think I could win it.
I doubt it. No, I got it. I got one.
You got it?
Yeah. But once you think in terms of that configuration, and that
Okay.
reflects what I am, a freaking genius. Hi, this is Shane from Nerd House Geeks, and today we're going to talk about the different types of senior level developers, at least from my experience in this industry. So in my opinion, we have four types of senior level developers. We have senior level developers who base their seniority based on working for a very popular high-tech company. So that's one. We also have another type that base their seniority on time served in the industry. I've been doing this for X amount of years. I therefore know better. I'm going to trust all my experience based on time served. We also have a group that are senior level developers who've worked at one company for an extended time, and they just kind of really know that product and good coding, stuff like that, but they've only worked at one company. I'm not espousing any of this is bad, and because they've worked at that company for 10 years, they are senior level developers as well. And then we have those senior level developers who are senior because they simply are. These are the guys who've worked in multiple companies, whether it be through contracting or moving from different company to company. They've dealt with multiple product lines. They've seen multiple business models. They've dealt with executives, BAs, different marketing teams, had to do debugging and analysis with various coding styles. At the same time, engaging in continuous learning, whether it's from online content or books. So let's start. This is all about my opinion, so I definitely don't say that I'm right all the time. I have definitely run into guys or other developers whose seniority is purely based on working for a very high-tech company. Examples like Intel, AT&T. I've even had NASA roll across my desk. But that's, those, I guess everybody who works for those big companies, myself included, one time I worked for AT&T, I don't know, I sold it as it made me awesome. In one of the things I've discovered with this particular crew, and I have no problem with any of these things, is that sometimes you run into developers who in a big company turn to one knob, and that's the one knob they've been turning for 10 years. And technically, a company will downsize when they're that big, and definitely when they get caught as part of the downsizing, that high-tech company that has this reputation, now you have to work for smaller companies, and smaller companies require far more dynamic and versatile and resourceful developers. And I'm talking about companies that generate, between 25 to, 100 million a year. I mean, I've seen some doozies, man, but I'm not talking like the mom and pop stuff, but more like those smaller companies that feel an IT budget, They go, whoa, what are we spending in IT? And so they're really focused on being lean and really trying to get a small team of developers to be versatile and address a lot of issues. Most of my career has been working with those companies, and they definitely require full stack development. And sometimes when you've just been turning the one knob at the big company, I see it time and time again where a senior level developer comes in, pushing the success of the big known tech company, and really have a difficult adjustment to the endless demands for smaller companies that were started in someone's garage. They got a program or two to come in. There's some spaghetti code out there that's making money, and then they pull you in and you have to look at this stuff and go, we're gonna have to work around this somehow. And so I found that those guys have a tremendous adjustment to be making. It doesn't mean you're not senior, it's just when you've been just turning the one knob, sometimes going into another company where you have 6 or 7 sites where you are the product specialist for it, and you work on the database, you work on the middleware, and you do the front end development, and the teams that are customer facing, who are getting all the requirements, all bug fixes, that's like 6 or 7 different sites that you've inherited because you touched it, and then you have to address all those issues over and over and over again. Oh, okay, I'll deal with this one. And definitely a challenge for those senior developers that just turn that one knob and have the confidence that the company created itself, but maybe you're not as competent when you hit the ground floor of a disaster, If you got a disaster going on, I'm your guy. The worse it is, the happier I am. I'm just like, all right, bring it on. The next senior level developer guys are the ones who've been in the industry for a long time. These are the time served guys. I've been doing this for 20 years. Gotcha. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a lot of experience. Again, one of the adjustments is this industry is always evolving and changing, and it doesn't ask your permission to change. So, like anything, I would recommend is, even if you get your job, I'm always a proponent of continuous learning. That's not enough. Because your job may not require what it takes to get the next job in it. You could be working on archaic technology, but still be plugged into what's going on in the industry, because it changes a lot. And not all the changes make it big time. Silverlight. But I think when you've worked in the industry for a long time and you've been keeping up, I think that's absolutely a great thing. My hat's off to those of us who've been doing that. But if you've not been keeping up, I think that provides a lot of changes, because the landscape changes quite often. So my one recommendation is, regardless of how long you've been working, stay in the know. But sometimes to work at the company you're working on, you don't even require to know about any of the latest stuff, depending on which language you use. I'm a C# developer, and not every company has switched over to Core. So why would you need to wait for that? You know how to build these things. Microsoft has made it easy for you to keep up with the technology, learn, get certifications and all that stuff, but you don't have to wait. And so that's like my second type of senior level developers, just merit of I've been here for 20 years. And I've had collisions with these guys where, it's hard to talk to them sometime, because they see it as an insult if someone has questioned, their final product. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I get questioned all the time. It has to make sense to multiple people. Let's debate it. Let's talk about it. And when you reach some of these guys who have an emotional commitment to the code, you know, to me, if your idea is better than my idea, we're going with your idea. Okay? It's not going to be a debate. You know? Like, nah, I have no problem telling another dev, like, no, the way you did it is smarter than mine. I really thought I was on the genius level there, but you got this one. Oh, I didn't say I like it. I acknowledge genius when I see it. The third type of senior level developer, I don't know, I think I'm just really pointing out the guys I've had to butt heads with. Anyway, told you this is totally based on my experience. Is the guy who's been working at the company for a long time. Then they've been working at the same company for 10 years or whatever amount of years. And I remember getting hired and coming in and be like, okay, yeah, let's take a look at it. And sometimes when you speak with too much confidence, you don't realize you're threatening somebody. You don't think you are. You're just like, oh, okay, that's easy. You know, I've learned now to. No, I haven't learned. I was just about to say I learned how to be quiet and humble and meek and like, okay, we will do it your way. No, haven't learned that yet. I'm still working on that. I'm talking to my therapist about it. Not really. But I've had collisions with guys who worked at the same company for a long time. You're coming in as a senior level developer, and of course there's a rush to, I don't know, explain. I don't know, it feels like it's a challenge to some people. Like, I'm never shook with whoever dev you bring on the team. Just like, oh, okay. The more the merrier. You know, it's definitely a team effort. Sometimes when you've been working at the one company for a bunch of years, it really makes you good at that product line all by itself. But because there haven't been any new ideas or implementing of new ways of looking at the code, when you start working and saying, no, I didn't do it that way, I'm using interfaces, and each one of these objects take care of its particular job. We have multiple versions of how we do rebates, and I've identified the different ways in which we calculate rebates. And so this one calculates rebates by doing this. This one calculates rebate. You know, I don't have some long procedure, and this was like dealing with a specific issue. And I'm like, no, each object just does what it does. And I'm like, have you heard about the solid principle? And yeah, sometimes just working at the same company has you capable of doing the job, but without continuous learning, you haven't explored other ways to do the exact same job in a more organized fashion. Last but certainly not least, senior developers. There's a group of senior developers who are senior developers because they simply are. My personal definition, these are people who have worked with multiple product lines, different teams, different business models, have had different interaction with executives, marketing, BAs, have seen multiple coding styles, very, very creative ones, and constantly engages in continuous learning from online content or books. And I think that's how I would classify myself, as seeing a lot of different products, seeing a lot of business requirements that force you to wear your grown-up pants as a developer. You know, there's all these things you can do. There's buy versus build. There's just a lot of things that are related to your team producing what the business needs, and just having that understanding. Like, yes, I would like to use all this cool code and, I don't know, do all these different services and force a solution into a business need that isn't absolutely necessary. That happens more than executives would like to know. But just having your grown-up pants on, you know, understanding the need of an entire team, and when you benefit from a very competent team, and I've worked with very, very competent team before, man. I mean, everybody does their thing well, and when we have to work together, there's a lot of trash talking now. we constantly try to pull each other down, but at least we crack on each other a lot. But I just think there's a line of developers who, I don't know, if you have to ask if you're a senior level developer, you're probably not. And I really think a senior level, a well-seasoned senior level developer could really sit in any meeting and get an understanding of, okay, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And when you've worked with so many people, so many great database guys, so many UI guys, when they're no longer a part of the business equation, you're capable of standing on all of that at the same time. Like, and that's the whole idea of this full stack developer, that, you know, some of this is based on my studies, but a lot of it is just based on seeing gifted guys at their thing and just going like, damn, that's brilliant. You know, just tell me what you think about it. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video. Like and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I appreciate it. And I'll share as much as I can about surviving in IT. Hey, sometimes things just go wrong. Hi, this is Shane from Nerd House Geeks, and today we're going to talk about the different types of senior level developers. Why is this so hard? Like, it's so simple.